Chit Chat time with John K. That's when cartoons were really crummy. I don't know, I'm not sure if I can say these things, but Smurfs, yeah, Strawberry Shortcake, Laverne and Shirley in the Army, I worked on all this crap. And it was awful, let me tell you. And everyone I knew, all the cartoonists, we were young back then in our 20s, we all hated it, we all wanted to kill ourselves. And kids, you know, if you're watching this, don't kill yourself. Unless you work on some crummy cartoons. So anyways, they were really boring, and the cartoonists really didn't have any creativity. We didn't have any say in what we were doing. We just had to draw these evil scripts that retarded script writers would write for us. And literally, they were retarded. I mean, they couldn't spell, they couldn't construct a sentence. It was embarrassing. We had one guy, Tom Min, used to take the scripts we were working at Filmation. He'd light them on fire and throw them into our office. We'd have to get up and like stomp the thing out. Oh, by the way, if you're homophobic, you might want to avoid this cartoon.
Just fast forward past it.
We also had a lot of letters from gay couples who would write to us and say, "Hey, John, you know, I really love these cartoons because I can identify with the relationship. Ren and Stimpy would get into the worst fights, you know, screaming at each other and stuff. And at the end of every cartoon, they're back in the sack together. So make more cartoons for us." Of course, they said it with a slightly different inflection. And I can't do that. So anyway, we put some gay gags in there along with the gross gags. Stimpy carries Ren's love child. Needless to say, that story got rejected. But I liked the idea. The only problem was, even though I kept going back to pitch it, I was still a little nervous because all the writers were guys, so none of us had been knocked up yet. And I like to write stories from life experience, and none of us had that experience yet. But a few years later, a charming young lady walked into my office. Say hi, Anne-Marie.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, this is Katie Rice. She is one of the young artists I was telling you about who sought me out because she grew up watching Ren and Stimpy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Ren and Stimpy has a lot of specialists on it. We have people who draw manly, we have people who draw sensitive, we have people who draw sexy girls. Katie is the princess of sexy girl artists. Now I gotta tell you a little history because all through the 80s, when I was working at Hanna-Barbera and Filmation and all these studios, I always wanted to draw sexy girls into the cartoons. But since the networks were all run by dykes, they wouldn't let you because they thought it was offensive to women to draw girls cute, like Katie here. So it frustrated me and all the other artists that like to draw sexy girls. So when Ren and Stimpy came along, I managed to get a couple of scenes, like in Powder Toast Man. What's the name of the girl? The lovely assistant in Powder Toast Man. Now, Katie used to watch these cartoons, and didn't that crap inspire you or something?
Yes, I love the girls. I like those Lynn Naylor girls too, in Stimpy's Big Day.
Yeah, those are great. And I think Katie showed me one time. She drew. I was at her 15th birthday party. We'll tell you that backstory a little bit later. And she showed me her sketchbook, and one of the drawings in it was a copy of a drawing I did of my character Sody Pop. You still have that drawing?
Yes, it's not very good.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Anyway, she is now, as far as I know, the best artist in the business at doing sexy girls. And she has a website called
Funny Cute.
funnycute.com.
.blogspot.com.
There you go. Funny Cute. Look up Katie Rice and Funny Cute. And anyways, so the new Ren and Stimpy's come along, and Spike TV asked me, "John, you know, you got to do something that adults like. Like when we made the original Ren and Stimpy, I did things that kids like boogers and farts. So what did adults like? They like naked. So we did a cartoon called Naked Beach Frenzy. Now, it wasn't originally called that, and the idea for the cartoon came from Carolyn J. Alvarez, who's another Ren and Stimpy fan, and she mailed me a letter saying, "Hey, John, why don't you make a cartoon where Ren and Stimpy go to the beach, and Stimpy thinks that they're there to get exercise and fresh air and sunshine and all this good stuff. But it turns out that Ren is there because he just wants to look at all the hot bitches running around in thongs and stuff." So I recruited Katie to be the lead artist on the cartoon. She designed all the sexy girls. we had this one scene where Ren and Stimpy are bathroom attendants in the shower room, the girls' shower room on the beach. So Katie was drawing all the shower scenes. And we had a problem. What was the problem? Do you remember?
No.
Okay. It was, how do you draw girls in the shower naked and not show the good parts? So Katie drew the good parts. And I was all nervous. I kept thinking, I'd call her up. I was in Canada and she was here in LA. And I'd call her up and say, Katie, you gotta put hands in front of them or hair or soap suds or something. Otherwise we're all gonna get fired.
Well, we started, actually it was a little different than that. I drew them all sort of Fantasia style with, they had the boobs, but there's no nipples on them. And then I remember right before we turned the cartoon in, we were trying to come up with ways to hide them, whether it be foam or hands or whatever. And I remember asking John, John, what are we gonna do? They don't have nipples and there's nothing covering it. What do we do? I said, just draw nipples on them. So I went through all the scenes really quick and just did the nipples on every girl.
How that happened was I called up Kevin Kay at Spike TV and I told him the problem. I said, how do we do a shower scene without showing the nipples? After a while, it's gonna get repetitive to just keep trying to hide it. So he said, you know what, we're a man's network. Draw the goddamn nipples. So we did, Katie did, and all the guys that had to follow up on her scenes spent a lot of time in the bathroom, let me tell you. But anyways, you don't care anymore because you've got this filth right in front of you.